These are the do's and don'ts of making a galaxy. Let's get right into it. The first mistake to avoid starts with the background. You don't want to apply the black in a random way because it'll leave a lot of marks once it dries up, which will make the painting look kinda bad. Instead, you want to go for a smooth back and forth pattern. It can either be left and right or up and down, it doesn't matter, but it should just stay a consistent pattern to avoid lines. When it dries up, it'll look much better. Mistake number 2 is going to be using square or stiff brushes. When making the actual galaxy, we want to avoid these because they'll make the galaxy look too inorganic. Instead, go for softer or rounder brushes, or my favorite option, the sponge. These will give the galaxy that organic look we're going for. Mistake number 3 is going to be applying a dark color on a dark canvas. You can just see that the purple is getting eaten up by the canvas and nothing is appearing properly. It almost just looks like it's wet, and this is not a good look. Instead, what you're going to do is mix your dark color with a bit of white. It's quickly noticeable how it's so much more apparent and vibrant. I'd also like you guys to see the use of the sponge as well. It really takes the cake when making galaxies. A little side note, when using the sponge, you can see that I'm tapping really randomly and it's actually the key to making a galaxy look organic. Back to our bad canvas, mistake number 4 is going to be using too much paint and not letting the canvas dry. You can see right away how the colors are not blending properly, and on top of that, due to having too much paint, the magenta looks so clumpy and it's not a good look at all. Instead, what you want to do is let your canvas dry and mix your dark color with white. Once your sponge is ready, apply little amounts of the color to the top of the galaxy. Once you've seen how much you put, you can gradually increase the amount you'd like until you're satisfied. The key is to use the sponge to put little amounts at a time to see how much is good. Mistake number 5 is not adding highlights properly. This, in my opinion, can make or break the painting. You firstly want to avoid using so much white, and secondly, the way you hold your brush is super important too. You don't want to have the brush fully flat on the canvas because then you'll apply too much. It's called highlights for a reason. You also don't want to have a completely dry brush when you're painting because you do want to blend the highlights with the actual galaxy, and having a completely dry brush will make it very difficult. Instead, what you want to do is use a minimum amount of white with water. You can also see the way I'm holding my brush is completely different. I'm only using the tip of the brush to make the highlights thinner. You're then going to only apply it on the ends of the galaxy, almost as if you're tracing it. Now for the second part of the highlights, try to find a brighter version of the color you were using beforehand to paint over the white. In my case, I'll be using hot pink because I used magenta before. You're going to want to start blending it downwards and you can instantly see that it brightens up the painting. Proceed to do this to all the places where you applied the white until you're satisfied. You can also just mix the color you used beforehand with some white if you don't have a brighter color, and this can also give it that glowy effect. What you see me doing here is using purple on a dry brush and just going over the pink just a little bit, just to make it look a bit more blended. Mistake number 6 is adding too much black when trying to add depth to your galaxy. When you use too much black on one place especially, it'll just take chunks of the painting away and not look cohesive. Instead, what you want to do is use less black and a drier brush and start applying it randomly to the galaxy. Yes, this step is a bit more tedious, but when you're done, it'll have that cloudy look that galaxies have, so be a bit more patient. And another thing you can do is if you feel as if your galaxy doesn't look organic enough, you can use some black to start going over the ends of the galaxy to give it a more random shape, as you see me doing here. Mistake number 7 is using too much water when adding the stars. When you use too much water, the paint is going to splatter too much on the canvas, and on top of that, when it dries up, the stars will be see-through and ruin the galaxy look. Instead, you want to use very less water and more paint, and you'll see a difference instantly. When you apply the stars now, they resemble the starry dust you see in space. So you can apply as much as you like until you're satisfied. Mistake number 8 is a common one, and it's not adding more details, which can include doing the borders or adding some detailed stars. So instead, just paint the borders with the colors you used for your galaxy, and you don't even have to put much effort. Just make random cloud shapes, and you can add some stars if you like, and you're good. And as for the stars, it's quite simple too. Just use white with one of your galaxy colors and continuously make the center brighter until you add a white dot in the middle. And if you're feeling extra daring, you can make some with rays of light coming out of them for even more detail. We've got a bonus tip, ladies and gentlemen, and that's varnish. Now you don't have to put varnish, but I think it's a great idea because not only does it make your painting pop out more, but varnish protects against dust, scratches, and even the sun. So apply a generous amount onto your canvas and make sure to have a back and forth pattern when applying, and again, don't forget your borders. And there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this do's and don'ts of making a galaxy. Let me quickly show you the supplies I used. We use Mart's purple, we use Mart's magenta, and we use Mart's cerulean blue. And obviously just now I used Liquitex's varnish. And I got these all from Amazon, so the link will be in the description below. Let me know what else you'd like to see, whether it be do's and don'ts for clouds or do's and don'ts for sunset, and I'll try to get right to it. Just leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.